7:53. The board's going to reconvene back into open session. First item on our agenda will be action item A with consideration with possible action regarding level 3 employee grievance appeal.
Mr. President, I move to uphold the administrative decision at level 2 and deny the requested relief.
I have a motion by Mr. McCutcheon. Do I have a second? Second by Mr. Cooper. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. Motion carries 6-0. Okay, action item B will be consideration with possible action to approve the hiring of Coleman Junior High principal. Ms. Burkhalter.
All right. Good evening, Board. Ms. McCutcheon. This evening, we are recommending the hiring of Mr. Chris Lynch as the principal for Coleman Junior High School. Mr. Lynch has 11 years of experience as a teacher, coach, assistant principal, and has most recently served in the interim principal role at Coleman Junior High. His demonstrated leadership and continuity in the role position him well to lead the campus forward, and we recommend his hiring.
Board, I'll entertain a motion to approve action item B as presented. Motion by Mr. Schofield.
Second.
Second by Mr. Pitts. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. Motion carries 6-0.
First off, I just want to thank God for this amazing opportunity. I want to thank my parents and my family for being here, Mr. McCutcheon and the board, and just everyone that just helped me get to this point. Just super excited about this opportunity to work with stakeholders to serve our students and take Coleman Junior High to the next level. Appreciate you.
Action item C is being removed tonight for consideration. So we will move into action item D. Will be consideration with possible action regarding superintendent's appraisal and contract as discussed in closed session. I need a motion to approve the appraisal and contract as discussed in closed session. Motion by Mr. Cooper. Second by Mr. McCutcheon. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Opposed say nay. Motion carries 6-0. Okay, action item E, consideration with possible action to review requirement for 3-point harnesses on all seat belts in accordance with SB 546 and the inability to cover the cost of retrofitting all equipment in the current year budget by May 29, 2026. Mr. Calder.
Thanks, sir. Good evening, Board and Ms. McCutcheon. Board, previously the legislature had approved a law that required 3-point safety harnesses on all buses that are model 2018 year and newer. This past legislative session, we had Senate Bill 546, which accelerated that timeline to all buses, period. And so we were then directed by TEA to come up with a list of all buses that would need retrofitting and make a report to TEA. So tonight we give you our report. There are 42 buses within the district that do not have the 3-point safety harnesses. The cost of retrofitting those would be about $891,000. We would like to certify to the state this information, but also certify that we do not have $900,000 sitting in our budget this year to go in and do the retrofitting of the equipment. So that's the report and the request for your approval tonight, is so that we can submit that to TEA.
How do you need this motion worded?
Approval of requirement of 3-point harness and certification of insufficient funds to address in current fiscal year.
Okay. All right, so I'll entertain a motion to approve action item E as just presented by Mr. Caldwell. Motion by Mr. Pitts, second by Mr. Schofield. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. Motion carries 6-0.
Thank you,
Sir?
Board.
Action item F is being removed for consideration, so we'll move into our last action item tonight, which is consideration and possible approval of 6 through 12 made math adoption and selection of instructional materials. Ms. Heimbo, right? She was on my notes.
Good evening, Board and Ms. McCutcheon. I presented to you in December regarding the adoption of new materials for secondary math. I'm here tonight to follow up with you on the review process and to request your approval for our choice that we've made. I wanted to kind of recap our timeline. We started this process last spring, summer, looking at all the materials that were available from the state that were classified as HQIM to be in compliance with House Bill 1605. And we looked at those. We had teachers on a committee that reviewed the materials that were available. In November, the state added more materials to the list, so we added those, reviewed them as well. And then we had teachers teach some sample lessons and various other activities that they were able to look at the materials and review them online and in print to get to a decision. On the screen, I added the little W's to show that on each of those events, we had teachers involved in that process. So throughout the process, we've had teachers, all teachers were encouraged to participate, and as many as could participate were involved in that process. I have a couple of teachers here tonight that want to share a little bit about their experience in the process. So Shelby Fossey from Coleman Junior High is going to talk about her participation.
Good evening, Board and Ms. McCutcheon. Thanks for taking your time to be able to hear me out. Sorry. I just wanted to speak to how much we really appreciated as a group of teachers to be included in this decision. It started with us being able to look into multiple different curriculum sets, and then we were able to teach sample lessons. We had representatives come out and give us a full tour of the systems and how the digital platform and the paper platform could work together. I just think that it's going to be a really nice touch for all of us to have had a choice in this decision, and we're looking forward to working with Savas.
And Lisa Hurst from the high school.
Good evening. I had a similar experience. I was able to meet with several in the small group with the teachers over the summer. We were able to look at anything that qualified and have a part in narrowing that down to the 2 or 3 choices. I very much enjoyed listening to the vendors and being able to ask our personal questions with our experience to be able to understand what they can provide to us, and having that opportunity twice to have as many teachers as possible, not just the small group, to ask those questions and really dive in deep to make sure we made the best possible choice was a real treat. So thank you for that.
So as part of the process, I pulled lesson materials from each of the top 2 choices. We had narrowed it down with the committee to McGraw-Hill and Savas. I created sample lessons and made them available to the teachers from each of the 2 resources that were our top 2 choices, and as many as were able to incorporated those sample lessons into their instruction. On the 16th of March, as they mentioned, we had the vendors come out and share their demonstrations of the products and what all they could offer. We had public viewings offered at the TLI building on March 26th and March 31st. So we had all the materials out available for public to come and look at. The teachers were able to vote via a Google form. And on March 30th, those votes were tallied, and Savas was declared as the winner. So that's our final choice that we made as a teacher committee. On March 31st, I presented to our district EMAC committee, and pending board approval, they have approved the expenditure for those resources. This slide shows the state review of Savas. This is just a screenshot of the grade 6 materials and how they rated in each of the categories on the state grading rubric. You can see that they received a 100% score on every category. I didn't put all of them on here, but for Savas, every grade level scored 100% in every category. They were the only secondary math material that established that rating. A lot of them had 100%, but maybe there was a 95 in there, but Savas was 100% across every category in every grade level. So that was a big point in our deciding factor. The teacher participation, as we mentioned, and as these teachers can attest to, they were involved with teaching the sample lessons. Others that didn't teach the sample lessons but did go and listen to the vendors and reviewed the materials separately, online and in print. We had 2 different groups of them that voted. You can see the participation here from each of the campuses. So altogether, we did have all 5 of the secondary campuses involved in this process, in the voting. This slide shows the results of the voting with McGraw-Hill in blue and Savas in orange. So both groups of teachers, those that reviewed and taught sample lessons and those that reviewed the materials only, overwhelmingly chose Savas. And I did want to mention that of the teachers that are impacted by this adoption, so 6 through 8 math, Algebra 1, Geometry, and Algebra 2, 68% of those teachers participated in the voting process. The cost is on the screen. Per Ms. Heimbuch's prior presentation last month, we will be getting about $440,000 each year to cover the cost of HQIM materials. So 1 year of that funding will cover almost 4 years of what we need for these materials. So on the screen there, the 6 through 8, Algebra 1, Geometry, and Algebra 2 English versions will cost about $460,000. For Spanish, for our dual language program at Howard for 6, 7, 8, and Algebra 1, that cost is about $11,000. That is not considered HQIM simply because the state has not listed any HQIM Spanish materials for 6 through 12. So that includes 4 years print and digital access. Also for Savas, they offer for the 6 through 8 materials, 1 teacher material for each 50 students is provided free of charge. And for high school, it's 1 to 75. So basically, the teacher materials are free from that from that vendor based on our student participation.
Good evening, Board and Ms. McCutcheon. I was going to give a quick update on the AP process. It's a much smaller scale. We started a little bit later in the year. The advanced academics courses are AP Pre-Calculus, AP Calculus AB and BC, and then AP Statistics. We are included in this adoption because College Board recommends using a book that's less than 10 years old, and our last adoption was in 2014. Plus, AP Statistics has undergone a rewrite for next year, and so the resources are out of date for AP Statistics. We do have 3 teachers at the high school that teach these courses, and they participated beautifully in the looking at the resources on March 16th. We looked at the books and the online resources together to figure out the best result. On March 31st, we also offered the public viewing along with the other books. And then April 1 through 9, they continue to look at the resources and reviewing the new materials to see which ones that they would prefer to use in class. So recommended for AP courses, for calculus and pre-AP, they're going with Cengage, and we're getting those quotes recently. And AP Statistics is taking a little bit longer because of the rewrite. The books and the online resources aren't ready as we needed, so they're getting those in now.
And as I stated, for 6 through 8, Algebra 1, Algebra 2, and Geometry, I'm recommending Savas Envision plus Texas Mathematics for your approval.
I have a quick question. During the public review period, was there much participation in that, or?
Not much participation at all.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, at this time, I'll entertain a motion to approve the purchase of Savas Math grades 6 through 8, Algebra 1, Algebra 2, and Geometry adoption not to exceed $471,408.
So moved.
Motion by Mrs. Kriegel. Second by Mr. McCutcheon. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. Motion carries 6-0. Thank you very much, ladies. Okay, moving on to our report section. Our first report will be our superintendent's report. Mr. McCutcheon.
Okay, thank you for letting me report to you today. Just want to start with our enrollment and ADA for attendance. You'll see we are remaining really steady through March 31st. We had 11,186 students. Talking about a couple of exciting things coming up really soon. We will be closing out our school year before we know it. So May 20th is High School of Choice graduation. That will be at Nelson University, 6 p.m. May 21st, Global High School graduation is additionally at Nelson University, 7 p.m. And then May 22nd, Waxahachie High School at Lumpkin Stadium, 8 p.m. Also want to talk a little bit about some celebrations. We've had some great student events happening and just some things that we're really proud of. Our Charmers competed in their national competition, and then they had an incredible spring show just this past weekend. Special Olympics was a special day for everyone who participated. Just want to thank everyone that put in so much work in organizing that event, participating, and volunteering, and it really was a great day. One at Play, if you kept up with that, they are the area champions, and so they're on to the next round, have done amazing things. Track, our boys team did win first in district, and our girls team received second place, so a lot of exciting things there with track. FFA, we had a great Ellis County Expo and Sale of Champions. Our students did incredible there. And then just recently, our broadcast journalism team from Waxahachie High School did win. They were the bronze winners at the UIL state competition. And also, cosmetology just won first place at the Skills USA competition. So just some amazing highlights, and we have so many things still happening. Our softball, baseball still in competition. Tennis, I believe, is still in competition as well, moving past district, and so a lot of great events still occurring. Did want to let everyone know we did have our first Friday Focus for April. You know, we didn't have a great turnout the last one we had in person, so we decided if individuals weren't going to come to us, we were going to go to them. So we did. We went to the Waxahachie Senior Citizen Center, and it was really great to get to visit with a lot of amazing folks there. Loved doing that, and actually greatly appreciated that Mayor Wallace was there, and because the lady there on my left, I guess your left too, she had some concerns about roads. Well, as a district, we don't control the roads, but having Mayor there, it was really great. We could talk about her concerns with crosswalks, but then also the road specifically. So I think she and I are going to try to team tag these moving forward, so that was good. So just moving forward on our First Friday Focus, May 1st will be a video message, and then in June, we're actually going out to the YMCA, so hope to have a great turnout there as well. And anyone that wants to attend is welcome. Okay, calendar of events. I did give you board meeting dates, then also our PR team gave you a great calendar that goes through, for sure, through the school year. Also just want to let everybody know we are having our Richards Park press box naming reveal. I guess it's been revealed, but just our event on Friday, April 24th. That is the last home district game out at the baseball park, so please would love to invite everyone as we nominate our press box for Ken Roberts. Okay, and remind everyone our recognitions night where we get to do our final recognition with our students and any staff. May 4th, 6 p.m. We will do that at the Fine Arts Center at 1000 North 77, and always have a great turnout there, so love to have everybody attend. And then reminder school board, in order to get all your required training hours the state likes us to talk about, do need hopefully have this on your radar. Summer Leadership Institute, June 17th through the 20th. That will be in Fort Worth. Okay, and last but not least, on April 21st from 12 to 1, we will have a grand opening for the WISD Counseling Center that is now open at 630 North Gibson Street, old T.C. Wildman building in that area. And we really happy to be able to move the counseling center there, where we house our specialized programming, Next Steps main office, and the Mind Above Matter clinic. So hope that you can all attend that as well. Okay, so we've been pretty busy, lots going on. Anybody have any questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Next report will be our informational bond 2023 construction update. Mr. Mott.
Good evening, Board. Ms. McCutcheon, I'm here to give you the Bond 2023 construction update for the month of April 2026. We're going to start at Finley, the alternate, the fine arts area there at Finley. We had it at spring break. We took out the back entrance, the canopy, all the concrete and everything back there. That's where the choir room is going to be. So they've started working on that area back there. Starting the first Monday in May, I think it's around the 4th or 5th, we'll actually start take over the band hall and the drama that day. And we'll start actually working inside the building there in those areas. We'll make it safe over the weekend, some of it. And then we'll have it where the kids can't get into construction can't get into the hallways, except it'll be all temporary walls and things like that. So everything will be made safe and everything on that day. And we'll start actually working in those areas in that area. Waxahachie Creek. So going on there, there's a lot of things going on there. We have completed the roof in areas A, B, and C. The electrical and plumbing is ongoing and all throughout that building. We have started the brick exterior in areas A, B, and C. CMU masonry is still going on many areas. You can see there D, F, G, H, and J. J would be the field house. They're actually starting to mark the lines, everything just to start that one. So it is literally in its infinite stage there. Steel erection is still going on in some places there in D, E, F, G, and H. And then tape and bedding is just starting in area A. So here's just some general pictures here of just different areas throughout the building. We'll go into a little bit more detail here in just a second. Just so you can kind of understand, there's the building layout when you hear me talk about areas. The A, 1, 2, and 3, that's going to be your general education classroom areas. B is going to be your administration on 2 levels there as well. And then C is going to be also some general education classes in that. Your F section there is going to be all your fine arts. Your E is going to be your cafeteria and your serving lines there, kitchen. D is going to be your library. H is going to be your CTE area. G, the 3 areas of G there are going to be your indoor athletic facilities, mainly your gyms and your indoor. And then we get on you can see across the bus path there is you have all your athletic fields, with J being the athletic field house out there in that area. just so you kind of understand a few of the areas and how it lays out there. Area A, which is that first area we started to brick, you can see that right there in the picture there on the left. They're 3/4 to 7/8 finished with that brick on that one section there. They've started going around the building, and they're starting to come down the right as well there. You can start to see we're starting to top out there in area A. We're starting to top out the sheetrock and those kind of things. Starting to put the blocking up so we can start doing one side, those kind of things. We're all getting that ready to really start rock and rolling there with sheetrock in that area. We're going to go into B and C, which is admin and classrooms. You can see there on the left, you can see, so that area there on the left is actually a hallway that divides B and A3. So the area there on the left is going to be some of your special education area on the first floor, and the area there on your right, in that picture there on the right side, the left side there, that area on the right is your administration. Administration will be on first and second floor. So that hallway goes from the front all the way back, all the way through the cafeteria, next to the library, through the cafeteria, all the way back, and you can go in. If you took a left, you go back into the CTE area back there. And the picture there on the right, that's actual C, and we're just getting ready to start bricking there. Here's your area D of your library. So your library is yours on your first floor, and then we have some extra classes, have a few CTE pull-out classes. We have a small small lecture hall and all that up on the upper level that you can look down into the library. So you can see the open area there on the picture on your right. You can look down from upstairs into the library down. It'll have some glass windows and walls and stuff up there that you can look down into the library instead of just being fully closed off. Picture here on the left, this is your cafeteria. So picture on your left is upstairs looking into the cafeteria, looking straight across into the serving line area. Picture on your right, that is the back wall of the library. So it's going to be a glass wall, and that's going to be where they'll have their little meeting rooms that they can, you can put kids in there doing small group studies and stuff, and they'll be able to see right in from the library into the cafeteria right there. It's not a closed off, so it's really an open area there. Here's area F, which is your fine arts. You can see in the picture there on your left, that's your storm shelter there. We'll be pouring the second part of that, which is the side closest to us. We'll be pouring it Wednesday morning. We've poured the back half already, and this is just for the first floor of it. We'll be able to pour we're about 13 feet 8 to 14 feet is what the engineer's letting us pour. They were out there today to start to check everything on that. Area G is going to be your athletics. So the area, a picture on your left there, that's your two, they're competition gyms, but it's not your main competition gyms. That's in our current facility. It'd be your green and gray gyms, what it'd be out at WHS, those kind. And the picture, and the one there on your right, that is your indoor athletic complex. Here's your area H on the left. That is your CTE. And the area on your right, that is your field house with the football field and softball field, everything right around there. And you have your field house is the long, narrow one. Then you see the little white area in front of that. That's our bathrooms for there. That is your concession stand, those kind of things in that area, the little area there. We've got a few things going on in the next month or so out there. So Saturday the 25th, there's going to be a helicopter out there. We're going to be flying HVAC units. We're going to fly about 150 units. So it'll be an all-day Saturday event. It'll leave a Rockwall area. Helicopter will leave there about 7 o'clock in the morning, fly down. It'll land. It'll get refueled. When he's coming in, he'll fly the property to see what he doesn't like and likes. If there's anything loose that may updraft or downdraft may push, he'll land. They'll go through all the safety features and all that, and they're going to start throwing units up. On ours, it's probably going to take, they're estimating 3 minutes. I think that's probably a little fast, but they're saying 3 minutes roughly per unit to take and set up there. They're not hooking them up, they're just setting them down. They'll pick them up, put them on the curbs and go. It'll be a pretty fast and pretty hectic in a way, just because it's back and forth. So he's going to be out there all day just going back and forth. So if anybody asks y'all what's going on, you do know it's not care flight, it is planned for that. And then Friday, May 1st at 11 in the morning, we'll have a topping out event. It'll be a little event. They're going to shut down the site. I think they're going to have a barbecue and everything out there. We'll have an area where go out to where we're parking, how we walk up through the building and go into the actual cafeteria is where it's going to be held in that area, is where we'll actually be meeting, and then they'll sign the beam and all that, then they'll put it up. Prop C. So Prop C is still currently in progress. We've submitted permit applications to the city to obtain the necessary approvals required at this stage for many of our projects. We are still working on other projects with the city to decide what they're requiring permits for, what they aren't, and what we need to when they ask for a permit, because some of the things that they're asking for, it's not just like a lot of these, I can give a floor plan and I know, but some of the things they've asked for recently, I really don't know what to give them to get a permit. So we're trying to figure that out with the city right now on those kind of things. Any questions on anything? Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Our next report will be a report on the Board of Trustees continuing education hours. Under State Board of Education rule, completing required continuing education each year of service is a basic obligation and expectation of any sitting board member. As board president, I am required to announce the name of each member who has completed the required continuing education, has exceeded the required continuing education, and is deficient in meeting the required continuing education. The requirements for training are measured as of the first anniversary of the date of the trustee's election or appointment, or 2-year anniversary of his or her previous training as applicable. There are 8 training areas for board member continuing education. Number 1, local district orientation. 2, orientation to the Texas Education Code. 3, post-legislative update to the Education Code. 4, team building. 5, additional continuing education. 6, evaluating student academic performance and setting goals. 7, identifying and reporting abuse, trafficking, and other maltreatment of children. Number 8, school safety. To the extent applicable to each board member, I will announce the completion or deficiency as to required training. For members who still have time remaining to complete the required training, I will announce those board members who have scheduled timely training and those who have not scheduled the training. At the conclusion of this announcement, I will announce any board members' training in excess of the continuing education requirements. Local district orientation. No new board members were required to complete local district orientation training for the time period covered by this announcement. Orientation to the Texas Education Code. No new board members were required to complete Texas Education Code orientation training for the time period covered by this announcement. Post-legislative update to the Texas Education Code. The following board members have completed the Texas Education Code post-legislative update training for the time period covered by this announcement. Dusty Autry, Adrian Cooper, Kim Kriegel, Judd McCutcheon, Ryan Pitts, Clay Schofield, Debbie Timmerman. Team building. The following board members have completed the annual team building training. Dusty Autry, Adrian Cooper, Kim Kriegel, Judd McCutcheon, Ryan Pitts, Clay Schofield, Debbie Timmerman. Additional continuing education. The following board members have completed the additional continuing education requirements. Dusty Autry, Adrian Cooper, Kim Kriegel, Judd McCutcheon, Ryan Pitts, Clay Schofield, Debbie Timmerman. Evaluating student academic performance and setting goals. Note, this training must be completed every 2 years. The following board members have completed the biennial training of evaluating student academic performance and setting goals. Dusty Autry, Adrian Cooper, Kim Kriegel, Judd McCutcheon, Ryan Pitts, Clay Schofield, Debbie Timmerman. Identifying and reporting abuse, trafficking, and other maltreatment of children. The following board members have completed the biennial training on identifying and reporting abuse and trafficking. Dusty Autry, Adrian Cooper, Kim Kriegel, Judd McCutcheon, Ryan Pitts, Clay Schofield, Debbie Timmerman. School safety. The following board members have completed the biennial training on school safety. Dusty Autry, Adrian Cooper, Kim Kriegel, Judd McCutcheon, Ryan Pitts, Clay Schofield, Debbie Timmerman. Exceeding required continuing education. Board member Dusty Autry exceeded the required amount of continuing education training by 6 additional hours. Board member Adrian Cooper exceeded the required amount of continuing education training by 6 additional hours. Board member Kim Kriegel exceeded the required amount of continuing education training by 15.5 additional hours. Board member Judd McCutcheon exceeded the required amount of continuing education training by 6 additional hours. Board Member Ryan Pitts exceeded the required amount of continuing education training by 6 additional hours. Board Member Clay Schoolfield exceeded the required amount of continuing education training by 6 additional hours. Board Member Debbie Timmerman exceeded the required amount of continuing education training by 8.5 additional hours. That concludes our report for continuing education. So we will move into report D, which will be informational update on the Mentors Care Program at Waxahachie High School for the 2025-2026 school year. I'm assuming your report's gonna be more informative and more entertaining than mine was.
I hope to be. I hope to entertain all of you. Well, thank you very much for having us here this evening, School Board and Ms. McCutcheon. We appreciate your time. We'll keep it short and sweet, but we hope that you guys get a great glimpse of all the great things that have happened at Waxahachie High School this year with Mentors Care. We ask every year to choose a student. Our coordinator has chosen a student to speak to give a short testimonial of her time and experience with Mentors Care. So for right now, I'm going to introduce our coordinator. She's full-time at the campus, Miss Stephanie Roy, better known as Miss G on campus, and she'll introduce her student to you.
Good evening. My name is Ms. Guerrero. I'm here as the Mentors Care Coordinator for Waxahachie High School, and I have selected Bella Rodriguez as our student speaker. She's going on her 4th year in Mentors Care. She joined us late freshman year, but was paired up with her mentor her sophomore year, and her mentor is here for support as well.
Hi, my name is Bella Rodriguez. I am now 18 years old, but when I joined the Mentors program, I was around 15. At first, I only joined because my dad had encouraged me to, so I would have someone to talk to. Looking back on it now, it was one of the most life-changing decisions I have ever made. At that time in my life, I was struggling deeply with depression. I was making harmful choices and surrounding myself with the wrong people, hurting not only myself but the people around me. I stopped going to school regularly, my grades were failing, and at this point, I truly did not believe I was going to see 18 years old. When I moved in with my dad, he encouraged me to join the Mentors program, and I will forever be grateful that he did. That is when I met Stephanie and later on my mentor, Kelly. At first, I was closed off, distant, and afraid to let anyone in, but Kelly never gave up on me. She continued to show up for me with kindness, honesty, support, and encouragement. Even when I struggled to believe in myself over time, I began to open up. Even when I struggled to believe in myself, over time I began to open up, and for the first time in a very long time, I felt truly seen, heard, and valued. Things I've never come close to feeling. Because of this program and the love and support from my mentors, my life has completely changed. I'm happier, have a job, I bought my own car, and I'm applying at colleges right now. Accomplishments I once never thought would be possible for someone like me. This program did more than help me through difficult times. It helped me save my future, and it gave me hope when I felt hopeless, guidance when I felt lost, and confidence when I had none. I am living proof of how powerful mentorship can be. Sometimes all it takes is one person who genuinely cares, listens, and believes in you to completely change the direction of your life. This program changed mine, and I know it can continue to change the lives of so many other students who may be struggling in silence and need that same hope and support.
And thank you to her mentor, Kelly, for being here. We have a huge support from the community, and it's all people like her that show up one hour once a week for a student, just to offer support, love, encouragement, whatever that student needs. So we couldn't do it without them. I have to follow that. That's my least favorite thing. My stuff is, I think it's super exciting, but it's your stats and things like that. It's hard to follow that, but I'm excited about all the great things that have happened this year, and I can't wait to share them with you. I'm the area coordinator, if I didn't say that already, sorry. And so I have the privilege of overseeing 10 of our campuses, and Waxahachie is one of them. And this is Stephanie's 3rd year with Waxahachie High School, and it's been amazing to see the growth that the program has taken since she's been in our office. So I'll be sharing the stats for this school year as well as some stats that show comparisons between last year and this year as well. This school year, there are a total of 22, that is not correct. There are a total of 11 seniors. I don't know what happened there. But there are a total of 11 seniors graduating this year, and a total of 69 students have been served this school year, the 25-26 school year. And a total of 69 mentors that are on campus every week, spending time with their student one-on-one. That's 652 hours spent mentoring, and that was a stat pulled from January. So that number has, of course, grown since then. So we track everything in a database system, which is how we provide the stats. And so we found a big need there to see, what are we doing and the impact that we are having and showing that. And so in the database, we track certain indicators. Of course, the Texas State at-risk indicators, which I'm sure you are most familiar with, but we also saw that there were things students were struggling with that weren't necessarily on that. And so I'll get into that as well. So we track the state at-risk indicators, but also our own that we saw students struggling with. And then, of course, the ACEs, the adverse childhood experiences as well. As far as the Texas State at-risk indicators, the students here that we serve were, the 46 of them were struggling to keep their grades above passing. 20 of them did not advance to the grade level ahead of them the year prior. 10 did not pass STAR. We had one that was a pregnancy or a parent, and 16 that were in DAEP throughout the school year. We had 3 that were expelled, 5 that were currently on probation or parole, 1 with limited English, 3 that were experiencing homelessness. We include anything McKinney-Vento, couch surfing, things like that. And then 11 that were in facility placement at some point in the year. The Mentors Care at-risk indicators that we created, I won't go through every single one of them. I know it's been a long night for everybody, but I'll touch on some of the more largely affected ones. But as you see, lack of extracurricular participation was one thing that we saw a great need for students to have some type of community within the school, a buy-in. And we really started wanting our mentors to encourage those students to get involved in some way or another. We know that that's just another mentorship of some sort, right? A coach or a leader, something, a part of belonging. Also, it encourages them to keep their grades up because they have to be eligible. So Miss G, she has a list in each mentor binder that shows all of the things that Waxahachie High School offers and encourages them to pick something, get involved. 13, that was a huge thing, is attendance issues we see across a lot of our students. You see anger, anxiety, depression, self-harm, poor self-esteem, pretty even there. 31, behavioral issues. That's a lot of our discipline referrals, things like that are going to the offices, ISS, things like that. 16 of the students were living with someone that was not a family member. 21 felt that they didn't feel like they were struggling socially. 26 had a lack of family support. That was a large one that we see across a lot of our campuses, and students that feel unmotivated as well. Our ACEs, our adverse childhood experiences, 11 that experienced the death of a parent, guardian, or sibling. 56 of the students served were experiencing a broken home or a blended family. 15 from a traumatic event. We see things like that, like a major car accident, a house fire, things that will impact that student for the rest of their lives just because they've gone through something traumatic. 12 that experienced abuse, 10 neglect, 6 with domestic violence in the home, 5 with substance abuse, and 39 were experiencing poverty challenges. One thing that we offer as well, we're matching our students with mentors, and they're meeting once a week, every week for 1 hour during an elective class period. But there are times where a student has something that they feel a need to outcry. And oftentimes, if a counselor is busy, things like that, Miss G is another option, and those kids feel a relationship with her. They feel comfortable in that space. And so sometimes she is the first line of defense in an outcry. And those are times, of course, where we partner with the school. We talk to the counselors. We make sure that those students get the support and help that they need from the campus as well. And then as well as finding things that the student might need as far as like food insecurities, things like that. When we find a need, we can't necessarily meet that need, but we can offer resources. So if there's a food insecurity, if there's a clothing need, if there's toiletries that is a challenge at home, those are things that we can find resources or meet that need in our office. And so these are just times that there was a student that came in with one of those needs, and the times that Stephanie was able to make that referral to a partner, a local community partner that we have a relationship with, and set them up with something to help meet that need. You'll also see that there were 10 situations where there was a student that came in that needed to talk to somebody and they were not in mentor's care. Sometimes they just know that that's a trusted space and their friend might come, and so we also are a listening ear in those situations, and then of course make the referral to school staff as well. This is a snapshot of our program as a whole. We like to show decreases, things that we see a change in. And so these are improvements we're excited to show. This is across all of our campuses as a whole. We saw 33% improve their attendance issues, 54%, that's more than half, struggling with anger, that are now handling those things better with tools that we equip them with in our talking points, our curriculum that we provide all the mentors. 19% improved their grades to get above passing. 17% felt that they were no longer struggling with depression, 18% with anxiety. 25% was those behavioral issues. Like I said, the office referrals. We're big on talking to kids about how to in a healthy way, handle their frustrations, their anger, their anxiety, things like that in a healthy manner instead of exploding. And so we saw a 25% increase. So that was less office referrals, if that makes sense. They were improving. 25% of those kids were improving. They're not getting called to the office. They're not getting an ISS, things like that. 27% struggle less with their drug, alcohol, chemical dependencies, learning better coping skills. 60% said that they felt more motivated. Someone showing up for you every week, encouraging you, believing in you, holding you accountable, that motivates you. We have, Ms. G has a brag board in her office, so when kids are doing something, it could be they have 12 missing assignments, and now they have 4. And we're gonna celebrate that, and we put them on the brag board, and we give them a little treat. We celebrate the small wins, because we know that when we celebrate those small wins, they're wanting to do more, and then they turn into big wins. They felt that they had better self-esteem. 14% of those students were not going to DAAP anymore, and 17% said that they felt that they felt a sense of belonging. They were struggling less socially. These are students that were in the program for 2 years or more, so we're really seeing the comparison now. This is our 4th year at Waxahachie, so we're really able to see that. 84% of your students met the 90% attendance rule. 81% promoted to the next grade level. 100% of seniors graduated, and 57% of the students here at Waxahachie High School decreased their number of office referrals. One thing that we're also tracking is pathways. We want to know what's happening to our seniors after they graduate. And so I thought this was really great. These are students that were struggling in the beginning. They weren't showing up to school, they weren't passing, they were in DAAP, and we're seeing progress in their future. 3 of them from last graduating seniors went to a 2-year college, 4 went to a 4-year university, 2 went to the military, 7 into the workforce, straight into working, and 5 went to a vocational technical school like TSTC. 56% of our students, when we first interviewed them, they said that they did not feel that they had a safe person to talk to before coming to the program. And 100% of them report that they feel that Mentors Care created a safe place for them, which is great. That's double. Another thing that we do every year is we nominate a Mentor of the Year. Each campus gets to nominate one of their mentors, that someone stands out. They go above and beyond. They've served for many years. And this year, Ms. G, she nominated Jesus Barajas. And there's this picture of him and his student in the library. And he was nominated for the Carl Smith Award this year. I don't know who won yet this year. We haven't announced it, but he's in the running, and we were proud to show his nomination. That is all I have, but I'd welcome any questions if anybody has any for me. We couldn't do it without them.
Do you have a shortage of mentors, or do you have enough?
There's always a need.
Okay.
Right now, we don't have any students without, but some of our mentors offer to take more than one student. Like if they see that there's a student on the waiting list, they will. I will say, our maximum caseload, we say 50 to 60. She has 62 right now. There's always a need to grow as there's students that could use a mentor, but we just don't have the capacity as far as a caseload goes. I'd say that is probably a great need. But we have a mentors care community engagement coordinator that goes out and canvasses the community and gathers those mentors. But I would love, sometimes school board members join and want to see things from the inside, and I would encourage if anybody was interested in doing that, we'd love to have you. I know you guys get to see it from this end, but to see it from the inside is really special as well.
And Mr. Autry, Ms. Keener did request mentors for, help me out, the place that's out at the Ellis County Farm.
JJAEP.
Yes.
Yes, so
They
that's our
need
juvenile
mentors
center.
Immediately.
Yes, and that's a school that, I'm sure you all are familiar. There's kids coming and going and coming and going, and so sometimes those mentors form that relationship with that student, and then they follow them to whatever school they're going back to. And so she, there at JJAP, is having an influx of students, but also of mentors. Some mentors just stay there, but yes, there is a need there as well. And those are the toughest ones. And they're fun. They're a great group of kids over there.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Next item on our agenda is our informational items. You have A, B, C, D, and E that are included in your packet for you to review at your own leisure. We will move into our consent agenda. We have consent agenda items A through U up for consideration. And I believe we've had a request to have a explanation on agenda item T, which is consideration with possible action to approve Amplify K through 5 RLA renewal.
Good evening, Board. What questions can I answer for you on Amplify?
Good evening, Ms. Heimbuch. I just had a couple of questions. Did the teachers, and I appreciated the teachers and the community input on our new curriculum. Did we have any teacher feedback, community impact for re-upping on our Amplify contract?
We do not do that on a yearly basis, Ms. Kriegel, but we did back in the fall of 2024 when when I came in as the interim. We did have a committee of teachers that came in, and we talked through Amplify, Bluebonnet. We talked through all of the resources and whether or not teachers wanted to stay the course with the Amplify or switch to a different resource. We also had a community event. At that same time, we had over 50 participants from the community that showed up on between our two nights that we had back in the fall of 2024. And so the teachers overwhelmingly at that time said they really wanted to stay the course with a resource for an extended amount of time. Now back, if you'll remember, I think last month we talked about the old proclamation with textbooks was an adoption for like 8 years. And so you would adopt and then pay for that overwhelming amount for 8 years, and then you wouldn't worry about it again for, that time period, 8 years, 10 years. We're in a process now where our math adoption was in 2014, so that's 12 years ago. The state changed that back in 2023-2024 school year. And so now really districts have the opportunity to adopt as the district sees the need. And so for us, we went through that process last fall, and teachers wanted to stay the course. For the majority of the teachers wanted to stay the course with Amplify Texas. And so that's what we have chosen to do for the next few years, not looking to re-adopt until teachers have had some time in it. This is really just our, I think, third year, if I'm correct, with Amplify Texas as a full district. And so we want to make sure that they have time to
Okay,
be able
so-
to understand those resources.
So this $233,000 bill, so to speak, will be for 2-year adoption?
That is 1 year. That's a 1-year adoption. That is just for the renewal of our resources. Those are our student books, any new teachers additions for any increased enrollment or increased addition for teachers, any new editions of the novels. Those novel books are a little bit thinner. They usually last about 2 to 3 years, so we have some novels we need to replace. So that is for those items.
Okay. And do we receive any state resources to cover this cost?
So K3 Amplify Texas Skills is considered an HQIM, and we can utilize the $40 per student to cover the K5 skill or K3 skills portion. Currently, the knowledge portion is not covered under HQIM. We did meet with the rep today for our biweekly check-in that we have, and she shared that they have put in for the SBOE approval in November. And so they're expecting the knowledge portion to also be added as an HQAM as part of that November SBOE process.
Okay. And then one last thing, the concern I have heard about the Amplify is it does not cover the TEKS that are tested. So are we doing something to supplement for all of the curriculum to be taught?
Yeah, that's a great question. So Amplify Texas, both skills and knowledge, does 100% cover the standards, the Texas state standards. The state of Texas aligned with Amplify back in 2023 to ensure that what was the old CKL became Amplify Texas and met all 100% of the standards. If you remember back, I think last year we talked about that's the basis of Bluebonnet reading. So the Amplify Texas does cover 100% of the skills, and I can send you guys information tomorrow if you like. I can email it to you with those links to kind of look into that a little more in depth if you like. However, we have noticed there are some areas that we wanted to beef up and we wanted to make a little better for our teachers, for our students. ECRs is one of those areas, our extended constructed response areas. And so Ms. Gilby has worked with a team of teachers and our instructional coaches, and we've beefed up that extended constructive response area. As well as all campuses have the ability to use any of those other resources we listed on the TEKS certification document, which includes Lead Forward, includes Benchmark, Hegarty, Discovery Education. All of these additional resources are there for teachers to be able to utilize as they see fit or have needs within their classrooms.
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Ms.
Yes, ma'am.
Steinbeck.
Sure.
Okay, at this time, I'll entertain a motion to approve consent agenda items A through U.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. McCutcheon. Is there a second? Second. Second by Mr. Pitts. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Opposed say nay. Motion carries 6-0. And I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
That's Ms. Kriegel. By Mr. McCutcheon. All in favor say aye. Motion carries 6-0. Thank you.